Hey everyone, welcome back to Digits. Today we'll be talking about finding the area of a right triangle and why we have the formula that we have. So let's go ahead and get started. Copy these notes into your notebook first. So the base of a triangle is any side of the triangle. Just so you know, this is not a side. That's the center. Because if you were to make it into a rectangle, it's definitely not a side. Okay? When it says the side, it means the outer two sides, like here or here. Typically, whenever I'm talking about the base, though, I usually talk about the flat, long side. And it's usually on the bottom. So copy this down. And then when you finish copying it down, push play. We're going to have quite a bit of notes, so please don't forget. Next page. Oh. There it goes. The height of a triangle is the length of a perpendicular segment from a vertex to the base opposite of the vertex. So sometimes the height is going to be a perpendicular side, but sometimes it won't be right there. Sometimes it'll be the center. So if you had a regular triangle, that would be the height. And you'd use like a ruler or something to measure that. But in this situation, since we have a right triangle, you would measure this side. All right? Again, copy this down into your notebook, and then push play. All right, the last one. Whew, sorry, there's a lot of words. The formula for the area of a this isn't the last one, I lied. The formula for the area of a rectangle is area equals base times height, where A represents the area, B represents the base, and H represents the height. Yada, yada, yada. We know that we rate this as area equals base times height because we talked about it in 5th grade. All right? Oh, I got my eraser. It still works then. All right, and so we have a little diagram right here for you to see. I will go ahead and copy the diagram as well because it's going to be really great to go back to as a reference. Okay? And the last really wordy one is this one. So we know what the formula is for finding a rectangle. We need to know that formula in order to find the area of a right triangle. The formula of the area of a right triangle equals area equals 1/2 times base times height. Okay, so 1/2 BH. Copy that down. And let's get started. So we're going to work this one out together. A rectangular sheet of paper has dimensions of 8.5 inches by 11 inches. A diagonal of this paper forms two matching right triangles. What is the area of one of the triangular regions? So we know what the area would be of the rectangular paper, which is just base times height. But then we got to multiply it times 1/2. Okay? So before you do any of the work, at the top of your problem, always write your formula. Area equals, let me move that out of the way. Area, equals 1/2 base height. I like to put the little multiplication dots in between so I don't forget I'm supposed to multiply. Okay? So we know our base is going to be either 8.5 or 11. But since we're using multiplication, guys, we don't really have to put it in the order because multiplication is commutative. So the area equals 1/2 of 11 times 8 and 1/2. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put that 11 over 1 because it looks like we have a couple of fractions. Okay? When you're doing this, write out each step. Otherwise, you're going to get confused and you're going to forget to do your 1/2. Okay? So let's do it again. Area equals 1/2 times 11, which is going to be 11/2. 1 times 11 is 11. 2 times 1 is 2. Now we're going to multiply that times 8.5. Okay? Now, we have 8.5 as a mixed number. But if you remember back a couple of months, we talked about if you had a mixed number, you can always turn it into an improper fraction for multiplication. So we can multiply our whole number times our denominator, and then add our numerator. 8 times 2, 16, plus 1 gives us 17. And our denominator is 2. So now you have to multiply 11 over 2 times 17 over 2, which is 17 times 7. So 187. Whoops, over 2. Okay? We'll just right here in the pink. Okay? Ups over 4. Excuse me, not 2. Because we're not doing the pink, because we're doing each step as it goes. So we gotta do that, and then we have to multiply it, or turn it into a mixed number, or you gotta divide it and get a decimal. Okay? So since we had 1/2 times 87 halves, which was 187 fourths, 4 can't go into 187 evenly, so you would have a mixed number. 4 times 46 with 3/4 left over. Alright, if you're a little confused, that's okay, because we're going to do a couple more together. Alright, let's work this one out. So we have a rectangular part of a quilt. It says, a quilt pattern has rectangular pieces of fabric divided into right triangles as shown. Ta-da! You can see it right here in the pink. What is the area of one of the triangular pieces? So they cut their rectangle in half, and we've got to figure out the area of one of those halves. Now remember, write your formula before you solve the problem. Area of a triangle equals 1/2 times base times height. Okay? So, it would be like this. Area equals 1/2 times 3.5. We can go ahead and turn that into an improper fraction, which is 3 times 2 plus 1, 7/2. Times 7, which we can put over 1 because 7 over 1, any number over 1, is just a whole number. Okay, so we have our formula, we have our problem set up, now we just have to multiply all together. Let's multiply the numerators first. 1 times 7, 7 times 7 is 49. 2 times 2 is 4, times 1 is 4. So we have 49 over 4. Now, we can go ahead and turn 49 into 4 back into an improper fraction because you're trying to figure out how many inches. And if you told somebody, let's do 49 over 4 inches, that's not going to make any sense. So we're going to do 49 divided by 4 to figure out what our next number is going to be. 4 goes into itself once. Remainder 0. Bring down your 9. 4 goes into 9 twice. Just 8. Okay, oh my god, we're running out of numbers. What are we supposed to do? In case you forgot, add a decimal and some zeros. You can keep adding as many zeros as you want to until you run out of numbers. 4 goes into 10. 2 times again. Just 8 again. Remainder 2. Oh, look at this. 4 goes into 20 5 times. So 12.25, or you can go back to where we were, which was right here. And you can see that, oops, where's that 0? We had 12 and 1/4 left over. Okay? So 12.25 is the same as 12 and 1/4, just in case you weren't sure. Okay? On the homework, it's probably going to be asking for mixed numbers instead of decimals, because when you're talking about measurement, they usually want you to do it as a fraction. Okay? Now look, you got to figure out if this is inches or inches squared. Since both the base and the height were measured in inches, you're doing inches times inches, which will end up being inches squared. Okay? Cool beans, let's keep going. Oh my gosh, we're running out of time. Okay, what is the area of the right triangle? Now, one of my classes saw this and they like freaked out, like, oh my god. What's the base? What's the height? What's this other number doing here? Okay? Yes, there are 3 numbers, but let's, try this over so that way it's facing the right direction for a right triangle. So if you were to make it look kind of like this, again, I'm not an artist, but if you were to flip this over so that way it looks like this, what would be your base? What would be your height? Well, 5 centimeters is going to be your height, and 12 centimeters is going to be your base. So do 12 times 5. Divided by 2. So again, our formula first. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Plug in your numbers. Area equals 1/2. You can do 1/2 5 or 1/2 12, but I'm going to do 1/2 12 because, guys, it's a little easier to find half of 12 than half of 5. Okay? 12 divided by 2 is 6. Now you have to do is 6 times 5. And you get 30. See how easy that was? Or you can do it like this. 1/2 times 5 times 12. Add a 1 to each numbers. 5 times 12 is 60. 2 times 1 times 1 is 2. And we know 60 divided by 2 gives us 30. Now, what are we supposed to write? What measurement is this going to be in? Well, it says right here in your problem that you are working with centimeters, and both sides are measured in centimeters. So it's going to be 30 centimeters squared, because we multiplied centimeters times centimeters. Just like if you were to multiply 30 times 30, it'd be 30 squared. Okay? Same with centimeters and inches. Let's keep moving. So here's how we did it. There's our answer. We did it. Yay! 30. What is the area of the right triangle? So you're going to work this one out by yourself. Again, you want to make it a right triangle. So you need to flip it over, figure out what is your length, what is your width, what is your base and what is your height, and multiply that times 1/2. See if you can figure it out on your own. Now I'll pull up the answer. Figure it out by yourself first then. Okay, so again, write your formula first. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Then plug in your numbers for your variables. So our variable was base in 8, height was 6. 8 times 6 is 48. Half of 48 will give you 24. And since it was talking about feet, and it was talking about 8 and 6 feet, you multiply 8 feet times 6 feet and get feet squared. Okay, here's a video to go along with our lesson. Oh, there's my mic. So here we go.
And your church monthly is short, brought to you by Square Units. You'll be able to afford a 1-bedroom apartment someday. Alright, the triangle shown below, right here, has an area of 210 square units. How long is the base of the triangle? Base is 6, right? And here's potential answers.
Okay, so we usually do the base times the height, but we don't have the height in this or the base in this problem. We've got to figure out what it is. We have our height, which is 15 centimeters, and we have our square units, which is 210. So divide and see if you get the correct answer. Have a great day!